Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Lee, man.
Yes, sir.
We're here.
We're here, man.
How you been?
Magnificent. How
Man,
about you?
I'm feeling great, man.
Really?
Yeah.
What's got you like that, man?
So, So we've been doing the 45-day thing. You know how I was talking about how we did 75, the heart or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So we did our own little thing, and we're like 2 weeks in.
2 weeks.
2, 3, almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Into this.
Almost halfway.
And we're like, man, we did a workout yesterday. Like it was just strictly quad workout.
Oh, wow.
And
you said you're feeling great.
I feel good. I'm like one of the ones that the day after don't feel sore. But the day after.
You're the 2 day guy.
It's like, oh yeah. Now I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
But no, man, I've had so much, like my energy levels by just doing the weight training consistently, 45 minutes, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Man.
Getting the weight training. You still been walking though, huh?
Doing a walk-in.
Yeah. So you're at like a hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, man. I was telling Candace, like, I got to get a little bit more in. You know, like today probably it's going to be like more cardio, like Peloton or something with a bike.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And core. But man, yeah. I'm feeling good.
What's your go-to for core, man?
I like body weight stuff, man. Like the mountain climbers, and you do a little bit of planks, like different versions of like sit-ups, setups, and stuff like that. Like flutter kicks, things like that. Something so that
you're doing
something that like engages it to where it's like,
yeah, you did something.
Yeah. It's almost like you're gasping for air when it gets to the like it's like gets. But that's what I like, man.
Yeah.
I like to do a little bit of that. So, and we got a couple of things. We got a couple of videos we watch with it.
That's
doing
good,
that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, it's going really well.
Stay with it, man.
Yeah, man. I dropped already 10.
Oh, really?
I dropped 10, man.
Drop it, man. Leave it there.
But yeah, man. So like this episode, we had gone to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
You know,
yeah.
I showed you some pictures and stuff of it. And this is like Candace. We've never been to Vegas.
Right.
We're not gamblers. We don't.
Right.
But the sightseeing and like just seeing what it is, how the feel of it, man, it was crazy, man.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Man. It's a lot.
Like the amount of walking.
Oh yeah.
Like the first day we did like 7 miles.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't even. It wasn't even like, unless I looked on my phone and checked it by the tail end of the day.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we walked 7 miles, babe.
7 miles.
And like most of it's in the casinos because they're huge.
Yeah, you can't really fathom just the scale of.
I mean, it's just like,
it's right across the street. Like, okay,
yeah, right it's across the street, but that's like half a mile across the street.
Right.
But one of the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Candace was on the fence about it, and I get it. I totally get it because she's not really into the heights stuff. She doesn't like heights.
The heights.
So I don't know how you are about with heights.
Oh yeah.
But like, so I wanted to do the high roller.
The high roller.
And if people probably already know what it is, but the high roller, it was built in like 2014 in Vegas. It was what was the record? Yeah, it was the world's tallest Ferris wheel, 2014. In fact, I think it technically still is. The one in Dubai is the tallest.
Yeah.
But it's out of commission. It's not, or at least from what I know, it's not operating anymore. So it is like the tallest.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking anything of it because when you fly in, you can see the strip.
Yeah.
And I saw the Ferris. I was like, oh, that's the Ferris wheel. I was like, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
So the first day, we see it. We did it the very last day. And so we're going down, and as we getting closer and closer to it, it's like this thing is massive.
Massive.
Like you got like little, like they look like little pods.
Yeah.
You can fit like 30 people in one of them.
30 people pod.
Like I'm like, man,
this
is huge. And huge. I'm excited. I am excited.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I get to see the view, like all of Vegas, the strip, outside the strip.
Yeah.
Candace not so much. And being with her, I know if I amp it up, it's not gonna turn out very well.
Down,
she'll shut down.
Yeah.
So, and she knew that too. So she was just I'm gonna get
But
in.
she had a known thing of heights going into it, or she figured it out.
No, she had a known, like
she knows.
She knows.
Oh, okay.
Like this is a occurring thing.
But she flies and stuff, right?
That's what I don't get, man. Because we talked about it, and she's like, "Well, I feel safer because I'm in this like tight space."
Yeah.
Like if you can move around.
Yeah.
She don't like moving around, and you're in high places. Like if you can move around and stuff, that's kind of like. And I kind of get where she's going with it, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, it's safe.
So she never like parasail,
no
hang glide,
none of that.
Zip line.
No, I don't think she's done zip line either. No, I mean when we were in California and we did our like a honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we flew into San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we did Highway 1.
Yeah.
And Highway 1.
Yeah.
There's like plateaus,
cliffs drop straight off
100 plus feet.
Yeah.
And she was just driving. She was a little nervous.
Uneasy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was like this. It was a fear buildup thing. And before we even left for the trip, like she was like, "You can do it, but I'm not going to do it."
Oh, she already said this.
Yeah, she already said it.
Wow.
So as we,
would you have did it without her?
No, I wouldn't. Okay. Because I'm like, it ain't no fun if I don't.
Just wait. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Because here's the reason why, and I didn't tell Candace this because I knew if she would have known this, she may have not gotten on. So the Ferris wheel rotates.
Yeah.
And it takes you 30 minutes to go all the way around and back.
30. She didn't know how long.
She didn't know.
If you would have told her that.
She didn't know until she got into the pod and you can't get out the pod.
Oh, no. That might be some.
And she was, I'm proud of her though. Cause she went in.
Yeah.
And she saw it. And it's a slow move. It's not fast at all. Like you can barely even tell you're moving that much. And it gets to a certain point where it's like, okay, I need to sit down.
Oh, y'all are standing for a while.
Because there's like benches in the middle.
Yeah.
On the ends of them.
Yeah.
And she's sitting dead center. Like, because it's domed. So when you walk to the glass, it's almost like you're looking straight down.
Yeah. There's glass on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, not the full bottom, but it curves enough to where you could actually like look down and see like straight down. And I didn't know it at the time.
So you could stand on the glass or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
The glass is the outer structure, but it's curved so much to where you could walk up to the edge and look, and you can look straight down. Yeah.
So you could get freaked out.
Yeah.
If you have a problem.
Yeah. If you have a problem, you can get freaked out. And so she's sitting on the bench, and I'm noticing Like every now and then we just stop for like 30 seconds.
How far into the, like how much time out of the 30 minutes, like how much time are we in now?
We're probably in like maybe 5-6 minutes. Maybe
5 or 6 out of 30.
We're not a quarter of the way. We're not a quarter of the way up.
Wow.
And so once we start getting to like building height level, she sits down on the bench. And what was great though is there was another couple with her mom, and her mom was the same way. So they were both sitting together on the bench. So she had somebody that she could relate to on the thing. And she was on her phone, and she was just like, she
trying to take her mind off of it.
Yeah, trying to take her mind off it. And what it was is when we got to the top, this is what she told me. When we got to the top and we started coming down, the anxiety and the fear kind of just started to go away a little bit.
Yeah.
She didn't want to get up and walk straight to the glass or anything, but she was okay because she knew, like, okay, it's ending.
Right.
But it's like the fear, man. You don't realize how much fear we truly have.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how this episode is. It's like dealing with the fear, because I had no idea how. She said she was about to have a full-on panic attack.
Oh, wow.
And she said, feel my hands. Her hands were so sweaty and clammy. Like she was
really going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm over here walking around with a video, like
having fun.
Yeah.
You tortured your wife for 30 minutes.
But that's kind of what I want to get at with the episode, is like facing the fear, man.
Yeah. So I got one thing, man.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It said, recognize that fear is just a feeling.
I love it. False evidence appearing real.
Pretty much, man. Proverbs 29:25. The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe.
Mm-hmm. That's so true, man.
But but to say you're sitting up there, because I didn't think I had a thing with heights until...
I didn't think you had a thing with heights either.
Right. And I didn't that's why I parasail. Not a big deal.
Right.
It's not a big deal. So I don't know if
How is parasailing not a big deal compared to like sitting?
I don't know. It's because if they were like, oh, well, maybe because the water comforts me, because you do that over the water.
Okay, I got you.
So it's like, if you fall, I can swim. Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, it's only going to be like hitting concrete.
You figure out how to hit, you'll be fine. I guess that's what I'm telling myself.
Right.
But then zip lining, that's not an issue. Like, the main issue
you're
is
strapped in. Yeah.
The weight limit thing is like, well, you're over the weight limit, but we're gonna let you go because we want your money. But other than that, I'm like, I'm okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until that trip to the Grand Canyon, standing on that glass.
Did you do the Sky Bridge in Gatlinburg?
Yeah, I did that.
Were you sketched out by that?
No.
Okay, good.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because Candace had a little. She didn't do it because that glass in the middle.
Oh yeah.
The kids loved it, but when they got to the glass, they crawled on their knees, man.
And I think that wasn't.
And that wasn't a big deal.
That wasn't high.
I think it was only more about the bridge.
But in Grand Canyon West,
now that I could tell.
High.
Yeah, you're high, and it goes out.
And I don't know if it was just a thought process of like, okay, well, I'm big and I'm standing on the glass. That's why I was asking you in this high roller thing. Like, are you standing on the glass?
Man, that would be another.
What if you just mess up and step off? And
that would be a totally different level.
But yeah, it's just recognizing that fear is just a feeling, man.
Yeah,
it's a feeling. Like,
yeah.
What's the difference between you're on a plane and you're in the high roller, man?
Altitude, in my opinion. You're way, 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 way higher.
Way higher.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you think, okay, well, I can get on. So it's like, you can't see the glass stuff, I think, messes with you. But
right.
I don't know.
It's almost like on a way with the airplane. You kind of have this feeling of like, you got a pilot. You got this pilot that knows what he's doing. Where the Ferris wheel, it's you and a bunch of people that they don't operate this Ferris wheel, and you don't know where he's at. You don't know what they're doing. With a pilot, you're like, what he's doing because he's.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the fear thing, because in my opinion, like with the Bible, there's two different types of fear.
Mm.
And this is kind of where I really want to hit home with it was there is the real fear. Like
Yeah.
I could possibly die.
Yeah.
This could possibly happen. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then there's this other fear where it's like this awe and wonder fear. The fear of God.
Okay.
So in my opinion, like we can take all that, the fear, anxiety and stuff, and it's facing that, which brings us closer to the fear of God. Where it's like, okay, if you fear God, this fear,
Yeah.
it's not much.
Right. So it's like explore whether your fears are true in reality.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love.
Mm-hmm.
That's
so true, man.
That's what you're talking about right there.
Yeah. I mean, I had one. It's a good one with Paul talking to Timothy. 2 Timothy 1:6-7.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "For this reason I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying of my hands. For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power, love, and self-control." So the power, love, and self-control are three really key things that you gotta have to understand that you have that fear doesn't have on you.
Yeah, it doesn't have.
Through God.
Right.
It's like,
so it's like picture what you can do to create a positive outcome.
mm-hmm.
And positive outcome ain't like, oh well, the high roller crashed to the ground while I was on there.
Right.
That's not the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome is what you said, having fear of God.
Right.
And then love, power, self-control. Self-control means not sinning.
Right. Yeah.
Power is keeping the commandment.
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, that's really what it is. The fear of God is that. It's like the way, I think it might have been Tim Keller, he put it was, it's like, I don't know if it was Tim Keller or not, but it's almost like it's a wow and wonder of God. It's so much so it's like, not to say you don't want to disappoint him, but it's like, man, you want to do everything for him. Like, it's like this, it's just a great thing. It's like, why would you not like follow the commandments or do your best to like live in that in that realm
to be overcome,
and then it just being in that relationship with him. So,
man, Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go, even in the Ferris wheel.
Right, exactly. Because like Joshua, he was taking roll. You know, Moses had passed away, and now he's like, "Hey, tag, you're it.
You're up, man."
You know, Psalms 56:3 is like, when I'm afraid, I put my trust in you. So there's a trust factor involved in the fear that you face, I guess.
Yeah.
The anxiety.
But so the thought, I mean, even with this, when you said because the whole thing is facing your fear, but you face your fears by taking action.
True.
So Psalm 34:4, I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fear. So the action is I sought the Lord.
Yeah.
And then so you have to, for the challenge for everybody listening and viewing is you have to be able to see, okay, what does sought the Lord look like in your life? Whether it be we're tying in a nice story, funny story, or maybe to somebody it might be funny. Braxton is funny, to somebody else is like, well, he tortured his wife for 30 minutes.
It's like, yeah.
But where are you at in that process to say, like, is this real? And for if I put my fear in the rightful place, knowing what he says and knowing his word, it's done.
Yeah. Because I like the Proverbs 1:7, where it's the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. So it's like the fear of the Lord is knowing God, reading the Bible, understanding the commandments. Living out that walk in a way.
That's the taking action, man.
I mean, that's the taking action part. It really is. That is truly it. Because I was doing a devotional, and it kind of, I mean, it may hit some chords, but there was one part of it where they're trying to get you to recognize what fear is. Like, what kind of fear? Like, what is it? Is it if you're seeing like three of these things, yeah, you got fear somewhere, and you need to figure it out. So like, I'll go down the bullet list that they had, and if it resonates with you, like, check with it and just see what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, one of the things is you procrastinate the things that will make the most difference. That's one. You avoid the people and situations that hold you accountable. You blame circumstances, lack of knowledge, other people, etc. for your lack of progress. You get angry, especially if someone asks you about one of your tasks or goals. You are numb emotionally. You lack motivation, feel lazy about completing personal or professional chores. You focus on low priority tasks rather than the ones that will bring progression. You're easily distracted, and it takes great effort to return to your task. Like, these things, you wouldn't think, oh, is that fear?
Yeah, you're tying it right back to the root of this thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, because when I read, I was like, oh, like, for a part of me was like, I mean, is that really fear? But then it's like,
it's something.
It's something. It's something.
You label it how you want,
is
but
something.
there's something there.
Yeah, there is something there. Because I was going, like, I had a bullet list going where I was like, you have to face the fake stuff. Like, you got to face the fake stuff. You have to face the mediocrity.
The mediocrity.
You have to face the mediocrity.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, all of that. I mean, it is.
It is, man.
It really is.
It's basically, remember that fear is a mental game, man.
It always is, yeah.
Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
I love that one. I had that one too.
Did you?
I had it.
That means we're supposed to. That means we're supposed to share that one,
man. That's a good one.
That means we're supposed to share that one. But so when you're reading those bullet lists, man, does anyone stick out to you?
There's a few. I mean, like, few. I mean, there is, like, looking back. Yeah. There were things where I was like, oh yeah, I could see where that was a part of my life back then, but not now.
Where that was a part of my life.
Yeah, but that's where the knowledge, fearing God, plays a huge factor in getting rid of those.
Yeah, the biggest factors. One that if you could scroll and read it again, that sticked out for me was the one that was like, you do stuff that's like less tasks.
Yeah. Okay.
And, basically, like, those tasks are to avoid
you focus on the low priority tasks rather than the ones that bring progression.
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah,
in my life.
Yeah, that's happened in mine.
You're like, what are you doing?
It's like,
and I got to get this done. It's like you're avoiding it. You're avoiding this.
Yes, you're avoiding it. You're
using this to avoid this. You know, you got your time is better invested with this other thing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like, I'll give you one. Like, yesterday, man. I was like, I had to go up to Buford.
Yeah.
And we came back, and I home, and I was like, I was tired. I'm just gonna say, I was tired.
Yeah.
Like, I was just, from maybe a mental standpoint, tired. Physically, no, but I was just tired. And I didn't want to do my 45-minute workout.
Not the 45.
I didn't want to do it. But I asked Candace, I was like, Candace, have you done your workout today? She's like, no. I was like,
she was with you in Beaufort?
No. We were at home. This is when I got home.
Saying, but
home
y'all went to Beaufort together.
No, this was a company thing. We went.
Oh,
we
so
went because we were looking at some stuff. So we went up there, and then we came back for work for some stuff. But then I left. You know, we left work.
Fear's a mental game.
And I get home, man. I'm like, this is not a priority right now. This is a low priority. It's not. Priority? It's like
the 45 minutes is a low priority.
Well,
that's what you're telling
yourself? That's what you're telling them.
Oh my goodness.
And I asked Candace, I was like, have you done it? And she's like, no.
What if she would have said yeah? Would that give you a little more oomph?
No.
Oh, it wouldn't have.
I don't think it would have.
So why'd you ask?
I would have still done it because I was like, because we've been doing it for 3 weeks together, and we done a lot together. We do a lot of exercises together, but it's different. Like for me, I can work harder.
I get it now
because it's like weight training.
If she she's got her own. You would have been like, I thought we do it together, and it gave you another reason to be like, well, she does it. We don't do it together all the time because she gets it in the morning better, but. She was feeling it too because last week there was a lot of stuff going on with the kids and just dealing with things. Yeah. So we were like, yesterday we were kind of like, man. Then today it was like, it's like taking a breather. Like we want to take a breather. Yeah, I want to take a breather.
So I had asked her a question. She's like, no, but we can do one.
We can do one.
And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That's my motivation.
That's my motivation. We can do one.
And I was like, and I told her, I was like, man, I just don't feel like doing it.
Oh, wow.
I told her, I was like, I don't feel like doing it. It's like
Magnificence doesn't care how you feel.
Exactly. So and that's exactly what that's what she was like. Well, we can do it. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You want to do? Well, let's just do it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll do it.
We'll do it. And now you're happy.
And I did it. I did it, even though I wasn't motivated to do it.
Right.
It was a priority. And guess what? Felt 10 times better after I got it done.
Of course. It's always trying
to trick you. It's always a trick, man. It's always a trick to it.
Always trying to trick you.
But that's how it is. I mean,
that's take action,
man. You have to take action. You know it's the right thing.
And somebody be like, man, how was you talking about taking action? And he told earlier a minute ago, he said, I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, the man just read the bullet list of the fears.
Yeah.
And you talking about doing low prior things is fear.
Yeah.
And then the action in this of seeking the Lord was, okay, well, you said you were going to do 45 minutes every day for 45 days.
And that checklist was, you lack motivation and feel lazy about completing personal and professional chores. Like
personal and professional. But it's to tie into, I mean, it's on the list, but it's to tie in. Like, once you put it out.
Yeah.
Like man. You said, you gave your word.
There's such accountability to it.
Yeah. And then you're thinking, the accountability that I sought the Lord is he heard you.
Yeah. Like he knows everything.
If you were to say you put it out, who did you put it out to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yourself's going to let you off the hook. Your wife's going to let you off the hook. Your kids are going to let you off the hook.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, Braxton had a hard day. I mean, he went to Beaufort.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been busy.
Right.
Well, I'll give him a pass.
I give him a pass. No.
It's like, well, I don't think God's giving that same pass.
He's not giving a pass.
you said. It's so funny because it's like people say certain things and it's like, you didn't have to say.
Yeah, we've talked about that too, man.
But once you start learning deeper about this language thing, I'm so grateful that we've always said certain stuff like this. But once you really get into it,
yeah, it's different, man. It is totally different.
As far as like taming this tongue, like the bridle in the horse's mouth controls the whole, and you're thinking you're saying stuff that's frivolous. 45 minutes for 45 days, and you're like, well. Before the halfway mark, you're just going to be like,
I don't feel like it.
It's like, oh, okay. The enemy's got him.
The enemy's got you, man. But that's so key, too. It's having, like, I had an accountability person that was there with me. Not just God, but my wife.
Yeah.
And that's so key, too.
But that's why I asked you that.
Fear,
that's why I asked you that. What if she had said she did
I know, man.
What if she was like, yeah, I did it this morning? When you left,
I know what exactly.
I got my end. What would you do?
I know exactly what would happen. I would feel this certain feeling because it's like the Spirit of God. It's like, really, He's gonna. You said, like, for real.
For real. I mean, for real.
It's like,
how many times are you gonna live this?
Like, come on now.
When we go past this test?
Like, we've gone through this before. Like, let's pass this test.
Yeah.
That you may have not passed certain times in the past.
And I know we've talked about it too. I mean, it might be Rise coming up now, but the thought process of, you even with me, and this is not to do anything but create an example of, you're a man that said, 8 a.m. is magnificent living.
Yeah.
Meals are important. Lee, if I look at you, man, I don't think you eat healthy, man.
Yeah. I mean, people,
if you're like,
you get the first image,
movement's important, man. Lee, I'm not saying that, man. Like, it's not in my mind. You don't have one opportunity to make a first impression. When I visually see you, or I visually sit down and watch, if I was a fly on the wall while I'm watching you eat,
right?
This can't be important. But then if we tie in saying, hey, oh man, you're really getting on and you're doing your thing. You got a race coming up. Oh, what's gonna happen after the race? It's like, so now I'm just like being willing for anybody else on here. I sought the Lord. That means you gotta take action. I'm willing to plant the seed for Braxton, Kyrie, love him, to say it's 45 days.
It's 45 days. What are you gonna do after?
Yeah.
And I'm honestly, Lee, like for real. No, I'm not.
Like, okay, you go to the cruise happens, the trip happens. It's
telling you,
so much for the 45 minutes and the 45 days.
I'm telling you, we went 2 weeks in and we changed the meal plan, and we decided, okay, well, we do like at least bare maximum 2 days eating out.
Yeah.
We ate out over the weekend.
Regretted it,
man.
Like, what happened?
Like, our body was sitting there saying, like, what did you just do?
Yeah, that's like that's the place you gotta get.
Like, this is not good. Like, like, you feel this way. It's like, okay,
if we're not doing on your trip,
yeah,
and if you do one day on the trip and you get 45 minutes in, then I know you're serious.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was telling Candace. I was like, Candace,
then I know you're serious. Even if it's just walking on the beach, it's like, you get your 45 minutes in because you took a stroll on the beach with your wife holding hands, watching the sunrise, whatever. Then I know you're serious.
Like, I don't even know if the meals, like, I'm sitting there going, like, if I do this for 45 days,
what are we gonna eat?
I'm not gonna eat crap on this.
You said you dropped 10. You gonna pick up 20?
Yeah, no.
Like,
no. What's the point?
And I know somebody like this.
I don't want to be back where I was.
I'm just gonna say this because he'll know. So we're working out and invited to the gym. We went to the gym, and then it's like, oh man, I'm gonna get with you, and he hadn't.
Yeah.
And then I want to motivate him. It's like, say, it was last year when you worked out with me. And then he was like, he looked back through the picture. He's like, man, it was last year. Now, granted, it was the last week in December.
Yeah, okay.
That he got it in with me. But, I said it in a way to, terrorize him. Right. It was last year.
Right. Yeah.
But then I gave a weigh-in. I was like, I shared my weigh-in with him. Like, man, look, this is current weigh-in, man. Just trying to motivate you. Hope to see you again. But the thought is, what brought that up is when you said, I dropped, and I was like, well, what's the point of you drop and then you go and you picked it back up? Like, that's hard on your body.
I mean, I love that I'm dropping the weight, but it's the feeling of eating better, of getting the movement in.
And like, I don't think people really understand.
You go 45 days doing that consistently, for me personally, it's going to be very difficult for me to just go straight back to doing what I've been doing. Because I've been that path before in the past.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to do that again.
Because
I already know what it leads to.
I'm rooting for you, man.
I know, man.
People been listening and hearing, they rooting for you too. It's like,
I'm like,
Braxton was doing this, Braxton was doing that. What are we doing?
I know.
And it's just whatever works, whatever they use, whatever he uses to put it in to say, like, because I remember me and Eric were talking about it when you came out with the Stay Ready.
Yes. That still pops up into my head every now and then.
Of course, because you came up with it. Yeah. It's supposed to terrorize you.
It's supposed to.
So it's the thought process of, okay, like with knowing, and that's why I even invested the time. And this always goes where it needs to go. So the thought process is when you seek the Lord, and there's certain things that you've said, and there's certain things that are important to you. There's certain actions that's gonna be required
to do it. Yeah.
Or you could say the words, and I was going to say it's prevalent in your life if people were like, hey, Lee, what are you eating? And you're like, that doesn't seem like the meals are real, pal.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's like, oh, what'd you do for movement today? Well, I didn't feel like it. Okay, wow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Right.
Like, oh, like, man, you're feeling, it's like, did you meditate this week?
Yeah.
You know? Like, don't you coach on these things? Don't you teach this?
Man.
So he's literally saying, to tie it back into him, to say, there's no way I'm going to let you be a hypocrite to my people.
Right.
I'm not going to let you do it. If you say you're about this life, prove it.
Right.
And that, for you, is longer than 45 days.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's longer.
And it's longer than a race.
Yes.
It's more like than it's more than a brand.
Yes.
It's more than the book. It's more than, oh, look, he's wearing a fancy t-shirt.
I mean, to me, the way you put it, to me, that is the whole epitome of you just living your life fearing the Lord.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's living that way. And not living in fear.
Yeah.
Facing your fears to where you can fear the Lord enough to where like that progression you make continually moves forward throughout your life. But yeah.
Have I not commanded you?
Oh, you got
be
that one.
Be strong and courageous.
Right.
Do not be frightened. And do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you.
He's with
wherever you go. That pretty much.
That's it, man.
That's what. If we're ready, I don't know if you have something else, but we can end on this.
Yes.
Thank God Braxton was able to ask his wife, did you already do you? She's like, we can do one. So if she would be like, this is a nugget for someone. This is a secret. This is a tip, clue, whatever you want to say.
Right.
If you would have said, Lord, remember when I was talking about lean in? What should I do? You got to be smart enough to say, Lord, what should I do? Do I need to get my 45 minutes in? Yes, just wait. And you be like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear him say nothing. Because you said, but if you would have been smart enough, not saying like you weren't, but because you had the person you needed to do that. But in this instance, if you had said, Lord, how do you feel about me getting my 45 minutes in today? Do you think for 1 second he'd be like, oh, no, don't worry about it?
No.
And if you did hear that, that's a fire dart for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like a full armor God putting the full armor on God kind of thing.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Lord, do you think I should do my 45 minutes a day? And if you're willing to ask that, but we act like David. Okay, do I need to go into battle today?
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, oh, like he's literally talking about battle of like there's an army of people that's trying to wipe them out.
Right.
Battle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
nah, this is battle for your soul kind of stuff.
To say he's trying to wipe you out if you don't remember. So you're battling. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. We're fighting against principalities. You're talking about, do you think I should do what I said I would do today, Lord? Do 85 minutes tomorrow. You know, like, oh, I'll make up tomorrow. I'll do 90 minutes tomorrow.
Doesn't work out. I'm telling you right now.
Like, I already did 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I already did 30. I walked at work. Like, I'm good. I only owe 15. That's where the trick starts.
It's where it starts, man.
You're like,
because you overly obsessed. Like, I got to do it this way. It's like all you got to do is get 45 minutes. I didn't tell you.
You can't ride your bike, the Peloton, for 45 minutes.
You can't walk for 45 minutes. You can't.
What's wrong with you?
Like what?
Nah.
But that's where the trick starts.
Really.
That's where the fear is. That's where it's a mental game, because that's where the fear is at.
Because the tie-in is, if you actually did what you said you were going to do over a consistent period of time, you would change.
It would.
So just like if you said, man, I'm gonna read my word and pray to God every day,
it changes.
You're gonna change, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you figure out what the change is, and that might be where because it's we can lead into it. We're gonna do a 3-part series.
Man.
We're gonna do a 3-part series.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it. It's coming up, and we're gonna talk about this, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And we're gonna go a little deeper. So I don't want to like take away from that, but this is going on, man. Mm-hmm. And we can say it and label it all different sorts of ways. But it comes down to, you got to face some things, man.
Face some things.
And we called it fear in this one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man.
Face it, man.
Face it. Continually. Always. Relentlessly. Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence, and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.